The following is an ESG360 video.
I'm joined today by Scott Sinclair, storage analyst at ESG. Welcome, Scott.
Thanks, John. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you here. Scott, you recently published a blog titled Top 5-ish.
5-ish.
Not 5. You get an extra bonus prediction.
Exactly. It's about a half of prediction.
So top 5-ish storage predictions for 2015. So it's a great piece. One of the trends you talk about in that blog is your expectation that we'll see more of the traditional storage component vendors getting into actually the systems market. So why do you think that is, and who are some of the vendors that you'll be watching closely?
This may be a direction that we see a number of component players move in. One of the players I mentioned in the blog was SanDisk. They recently acquired Fusion.io. They've deployed an appliance based on that technology. Another component supplier that isn't a traditional solid state manufacturer, but also made some movements, was Seagate. Seagate acquired Xyratex. They also made a move to pick up LSI's flash division. Another player that I'm interested in is Micron. They haven't made any announcements, but based on some executive hirings that they've done, it might be interesting to see if they do something in 2015.
Interesting. So those component vendors looking to move a little bit up the stack, as we say, and add more higher value solutions.
Yeah, in a nutshell, flash has been taking off and solid state has. So on one hand, you see a lot of these component vendors flush with cash. And so they want to spend it somewhere. They're going to look for new revenue opportunities. On the other hand, what you're seeing is a market demand for lower cost storage, for flash at a more affordable price. Well, one way to deliver that is through vertical integration, and for these component suppliers to start offering a full stack. So it seems to make logical sense. It'll be interesting to see if it actually takes place.
Yeah, absolutely. You also wrote about the potential conflict between increasing adoption of hybrid cloud and hybrid storage infrastructures, and certainly increasing cloud security concerns. So talk a little bit about that in the context of storage specifically, and what today's storage suppliers can do to help address customer concerns around security.
From a off-premise security concerns, it seems like we can't go very long in the news nowadays without hearing about some cloud service being hacked, a security breach, or an outage. On the other hand, there's this significant movement, not just by vendors themselves, but also by IT organizations to figure out how to leverage the cloud. We've seen a number of storage providers talk about hybrid cloud being an excellent option to combine both the benefits of on-premise performance and the cloud economics. Essentially move the cold or older data over to off-premise or to the cloud to take advantage of those economics. The challenge that we're seeing today is a number of IT organizations don't have the level of data governance necessary inside their organization to know what is the information that's mission critical or that they need to keep secure, such as customer records, that I want to keep this on-premise and make sure it's secure.
And those are policy and process issues as much as technology issues.
As much as technology issues, exactly. So in many cases, you have the storage technology vendor providing the capability to an organization to move things to the cloud if they want, which provides tremendous amounts of value. But on the other hand, the organization doesn't have the policies in place to truly take advantage of it. So the lack of the internal policies may slow down that adoption. And what we may also see is there's also a number of storage vendors out there that are providing on-premise content storage through object storage solutions. And some of those players are actually able to hit cloud economics. So what we may see in the short term is an increase in adoption of these on-premise solutions as organizations start to understand their own data governance.
And there's clearly an opportunity for certainly the larger global providers to bring some of their consulting and services skills and resources to bear here around helping customers with their data governance issues.
Absolutely, and I think that's going to be key, because it's moving to an off-premise solution is more than just that lower level data movement. It's a full stack of solutions and understanding, and the larger providers will be able to provide that level of capability.
Great. So last topic, hyper-converged is a very hot topic in the industry these days. It's having a big impact on the storage market. So what do you see as the impact of hyper-converged in 2015, specifically on the storage space?
So one of the elements of hyper-converged is essentially it's a virtualized data center in a box for all intents and purposes. And one of the key components of that is, at least at some level, some software-defined storage component. Software-defined storage, the term gets used a lot and has lots of different definitions.
Yes, it does.
But one of the elements of it is this ability to deploy a hyper-converged solution where essentially I'm able to just focus on the VMs or the virtual machines and automatically manage the storage behind it. And so what I'm projecting is that software-defined storage will see the adoption in hyperconverged first before you see the pure software plays. And the reason why is because it is delivered as a box. It's a full solution. So as a full solution, it will be easier to deploy, easier for organizations to understand. I understand that this is my one box, I have one vendor that's providing it.
So think of hyper-converged almost as software-defined storage as an appliance.
Exactly, exactly. And one of the elements of that I'm talking about in the blog is we've seen hyper-converged solutions being provided by and promoted by a number of smaller firms that are hyper-converged firms. What I'm projecting is you'll start to see more of the mantle of hyperconverged being taken up by the server providers. It seems to be a natural fit. If I'm a Dell or an HP, Lenovo, for example, perfect example. Some of these companies have some of their own technology that they could use. Some of them have partnerships. Some have already announced partnerships with Evo Rail from VMware. There's a number of different solutions where I'm projecting that you'll start to see more and more messaging and more movement from server providers in this space.
Certainly be interesting to watch what Cisco does.
Absolutely.
In this space also.
Absolutely.
Well, great, Scott. Excellent
Thank you, John.
stuff. You can read more of Scott's research at esg-global.com.